in our range of, our scope of possibilities. Yeah. I feel like a lot now, things come up, especially if you live with someone and you see their emotional eating coming up.
Mm.
I think that's probably a really challenging thing. If you see your spouse or your parents or, kids or, friends, whatever, if you see them, really abusing food in a certain way, is there a good way to deal with that? Or,
This is a loaded
how to
question.
approach that? I know. But it's a good one. It's a good one.
It's a very good one, though. Yes, it's a very good one.
I
Um,
think a lot of people might be dealing with that.
yeah, I absolutely agree, and it's a very good question. And I think that this is also something that requires us to be very kind, to be understanding, and to just be very gentle in our approach in general. I think because it can backfire very quickly, as I'm sure probably you have experienced sometimes, kind of being too aggressive about preaching about how you should be eating or what you have been doing wrong can go the other direction. So
Yeah.
for me, I think important is to give them some space and to show them that you're there for them. And then maybe you can, if you are the person who is preparing food, who's more in charge of the food, to make sure that you fill your house with nourishing food as much as possible and avoid all of those like snacks and things like that, or prepare some food, or maybe get creative if maybe your spouse is very much into cookies or something, then maybe getting creative with recipes that are a bit more nourishing, and maybe don't spike the blood sugar level so much and things like this, because again, blood sugar, by the way, blood sugar levels also play a very big role in emotions, so that's another thing that I'm gonna go in tomorrow. But yeah, I would say just talking to them and being understanding, and maybe just telling them, I'm seeing this right now. Do you want to talk about it, or how can I be of your help? But then also realizing that it's not our responsibility, and this is a painful realization oftentimes, but it is not our responsibility to change somebody else's eating habits. Only those people can do this for themselves. And I had this before, like if I have a client coming to me, this is a person who maybe already has made that decision. I want to change something, but I don't know where to start. This is like the most, in my opinion, fertile ground for change, because they're ready. If somebody is not ready, you can just talk and talk, and they're never going to listen to you. In effect, they might be even just annoyed by you. So I think this is that thing, that even if it's painful, realizing that it's not in your hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
and,
Beautifully put. Yeah.
yeah, and just creating an environment as much as you can, a nourishing environment. That's probably the best thing that can also can help.
Yeah. And I guess setting the right boundaries also for yourself, that you are,
Yeah.
you are also protecting, in a way, putting a boundary there that you are okay. If such a person is really constantly around you, and it's really, it's really hard for you, creating that space of distance, in whichever way you can
I think
between that.
that's so good, Jessica. Thank you for bringing that up. Boundaries. I think even more so nowadays, it's important that we actually create boundaries, that we see where our boundaries are, and that we really set them firmly with people, with situations.